Yes, I'm here again, and I'm glad to be with you today. However, there is something I want to share with you, by the way. There is something which I feel it is important that it is shared with everyone, and just have a cup of water, sit down well. Actually, this needs water. This doesn't need tea. It may be hot. It itself, it will just warm the water you're drinking. I hope at the end of the very session, as you sip your water, it will not be hot, it will not be cold as it is. By the way, this is one of the cups which is rare, and it's rare because people have advanced to better materials and to better things. But still, somewhere in the hold, somewhere in the new. I've not departed from the hold fully, and that's why I have this cup. I also remember those plates, and this one I was using one like this when I was in high school for drinking uji. So I took this so that it may be a good reminder of my life in school, because I experienced many things in school, and I'm going to share things concerning school. So you're very much welcome. How are you? And how was your day, your morning? Whenever you're watching this session, maybe at night, maybe in the morning, maybe in the afternoon, maybe you are at work. I hope work is well. Everything is going on well. My name is Mr. Masai, or they usually call me Sati M. I don't know if they call me or I call myself, but I was the first one to call myself. I've heard several of them calling me Sati M. So you can call me Sati M, the founder of Study Smart by Sati M, where we share some revision techniques, where we share about revision. And for that reason, this is the purpose of this video, so that we may share concerning revision. And it's very sweet to drink water like a juice, not just like water. Yes, you have to convince yourself that actually you're drinking something good, because it's water, and even it's not as sweet as you may think. But that power to convince yourself that what you're drinking is a good thing is important. There is this thing I usually call effective revision, fruitful revision. While on the other side, I have something I call ineffective or unfruitful revision. And probably you've lived it or you've seen it happening. Like personally, I'm a victim, I've lived it, and also I'm a witness of this happening with many, many people, many learners. You find that a student sits at their desk for hours. They are surrounded by textbooks, highlighters, notes, and you find, yeah, they are revising, they are doing something. That is revision, actually. Let me call it revision, because I don't want to say that what they are doing is nothing. Actually, they are revising, they are trying. However, when the exam comes, things change all of a sudden. Three things happen in their life, and I don't know if this has happened to you or any other person you've seen, that when the exam comes, number one, their mind goes blank. Has it happened to you? Has it happened to your learner? Has it happened to your child as a parent? Number two, concepts blur. Something which was very clear and vivid in the mind, when they come to exams, to writing, they cannot write it anymore. And the other thing is that confidence crumbles. They don't have confidence anymore. They had that confidence that we're going to sit for this exam and we're going to do our best, but all of a sudden they shrink, they shy off, they cannot do the exam. And in this situation, they handle the exams. At the end, the results are disappointing. The results are pathetic, if to call. So these are some of the things which we come across. These are some of the things actually we meet. And to be clear on something, actually, it's good I mentioned to you that I'm a teacher and I observe this. I really try as much as possible to help my learners because I understand actually what they are going through. I understand that this is a person, sometimes we think that a learner may not have revised enough, but you understand that this is a person who tried their best in their knowledge, but their knowledge was not enough, their good was not enough. They need to do something which is different from what they did. They need to do something which is not as per their old systems. So, what is it that they are supposed to do? Understanding that this is a struggle of thousands of learners across, especially let's talk about our country, Kenya, and even beyond. This is a challenge, this is a struggle of many learners, and most of them they cannot speak about it. They are struggling, they are doing everything, and they feel disappointed, and they feel that academics are not rewarding. I felt that at one point, by the way, I gave up. Yeah, and some of there are many things which happened in my academic journey, which I'm going to share in a memoir entitled I'll not give you the title right now, but it's a memo about the academic journey. I am writing, but when it is out, I'll inform you immediately because sometimes I felt that my own journey is a journey to educate and to inform people and also to motivate because everyone has a journey and there are similar aspects, especially when you consider that we are in the same field and you're working in the same path, academic path. You'll find that some things relate, some things you can relate to them, and you can be motivated to move forward. You look, it is not just the learners in maybe a specific level of education, but all students. I want to measure, especially from grade 4, that is around 9, 10 years. A learner who is 9, 10 years is a learner who should be trained on this specific program which I'm going to share. That is primary school, middle primary school, grade 4, all through to grade 6. They don't do structured revision. They don't know about that. But they need to learn the basics, the simple things, and they make it a culture. And in this way, as they grow up, they'll be able to do better. The second is our learners who are in the junior school with the CBC by day. You find that everything is in chaos because yes, I've seen these. Even teachers are struggling to understand the concepts and think about it. If teachers are struggling, learners don't know what to revise, and they don't have a structured system. They lack strategy. They don't do it. They shrink. They faint, and they cannot go beyond. So this is very much required for everyone, and I'll show you how it will be applying. I'll show you how you can use these simple tips and ensure that revision is effective. We have said that we are journeying from ineffective, unfruitful revision to effective and fruitful revision with SATM. Study smart. Yes, think about secondary school learners. They are also experiencing the same, and especially when the secondary school work is actually a bulk. It is not easy, by the way, and we need also to be careful. We need also to guide learners. Talk about TVET trainees in different technical models which require mastery. And you find it is hard for them to master because they don't know where to start. They don't know how to revise this thing. They don't know. Yes, this thing needs to stick in their mind, but how will it stick? How will they master these concepts? That's a challenge. And then the giants, university scholars. Once again, we are here for you. This is not something which is made for the kids in the primary school and in the junior school, in the secondary school. Actually, revision is supposed to be for all, because what we are going after is mastery of content. And tips I'm going to share here, they are tips for mastering content, which are simple and general to apply to all levels and to help each learner in each level. So if you are a university student juggling with the units and deadlines, you revise, you sacrifice sleep, even you pray. It's like me, I used to pray very much. But the fruits don't match the labor. Sometimes you feel like even God has not answered. All of this is what we are going to handle. All of this is what we are going to measure on revision. And there is this one question we need to ask ourselves as we start, especially in this first lesson. The question we need to ask ourselves is, why does revision fail? The second question is, how can we transform revision into a powerful and purposeful tool for mastery? How many questions? Two. Number one, we need to ask ourselves, why does revision fail? Number two, my finger does not want to stretch. Okay, the second one is, how can we transform revision into a powerful and purposeful tool for mastery? Are you ready? Then you're welcome. This session is for everyone. It's for the learner, it's for the teacher, it's for the parent, so that we may all help the students to achieve their best, to maximize their potential, to maximize or optimize their time while they get the output they desire, that their results would match their labor. So I want us to follow keenly. And we've asked ourselves the question, why revision fails. What do you think are some of the reasons why revision fails? And especially, we only consider your revision when you consider a teacher. If you're guiding learners for revision, what do you think is making them fail to understand? What do you think is making them fail to master the content? And the results are pathetic, despite the fact that you've taken time, guided the learners, even you were with them in revising together. As if your effort does not count. If you're a learner, what are some of the faults? What are some of the things you think are wrong with your revision, so that you don't grasp, you don't master? When exam comes, you're blank, you don't have confidence. And as a parent, you need to ask yourself, what is wrong with my child? What is happening with my child exactly, so that you may find that the child is not mastering this content, and when exam comes, uh, he or she struggles. So we need to be answering these questions. And when we answer these questions, I believe that every learner who will follow the tips that we're going to share here today and onwards will benefit. This is the first and very introductory lesson to our revision techniques by SATM. Actually, 11 days study smart with SATM. I've shared this on WhatsApp. I've shared these through a channel, and I'm actually going to produce videos of these lessons, which are 11, and share with you, so that you may access them in YouTube and wherever you are, because it is so unfortunate that I cannot be able to have everyone in my channel. I can share the link, I can do everything, but it is not everyone who will be interested in that. But I believe that when you can watch a video and listen to these things and take notes also, you will understand. Number two is that you find that text alone is not enough. We also need the voice. You also need me talking to you, to see me talking to you and find that it is real. This is not a robot which is preparing these lessons and sharing. Actually, it's me. Yeah, it's me. And if you can see, it's me. And I've also struggled with this, because in the WhatsApp I've not shared any stories. If I give you stories of how I struggled, you will understand this struggle is real, and you can get out of it. So we start with this. There is something we call a myth in revision. There are many myths in revision, but I want to talk about this one myth which affects almost every learner. I've seen it, and there are many times I've spoken this and people don't understand why, how. I've said that in my form four, when I was sitting for the national exams, I never slept past 9:30 p.m. I never woke up. I never woke up before 5 a.m. And people are like, how? And but still you passed. Yeah, I passed. I did something. I thank God for what I got, and I also had confidence, and my confidence did not faint in exams. Only that to find the results were not according to my projection, but I was satisfied with what I got, by the way. And and later I'll tell you what I got. I know, is an educator, is a person who needs to talk to people. You must accept to be vulnerable, and I accept to I accept this. I accept that you may know about my life. So when I tell people that I didn't sleep late at night, I was very careful. I slept at around 9 to 9:30, and I woke up at 5. Just prepare, brush something, and they are like, how? Yeah, I did that. I know the pressure with the national exams. I know the pressure with exams that even learners don't find that peace to sleep. They they are trying to squeeze the activity to find more time for revision. I didn't squeeze my activities. I was a day scholar. I spent the time during the day well. In the morning, after I arrive, and in the afternoon, after we are done with the exams. And I want to thank one of my favorite teachers, Mr. Kivuva, Benjamin Mosioki Kivuva. I thank you because you did a lot and you helped me a lot. Your guidance is one of the reasons I'm sharing this story, because without you, I could not do it well. Despite the fact that I was so confident that I don't want to do this, I don't want to stress myself, sacrifice sleep. I still was a child, I still was young, and some of the things I could not understand. But you helped me, you guided me, you sacrificed your time to be with me so that I may benefit and I may succeed. I benefited from all that you had. And thank you very much, Mwalimu. Na kuenzi sana. Yes. So, there is this myth of more time, better results. That is one of the things I was avoiding. Many students believe that the longer they revise, the better they perform. Is that true? Is that what you believe? Sorry, it's not that way. There is nothing like better results after more time or longer revision. Someone will revise for 30 minutes while you revise for 2 hours, and the person will outsmart you. Does it sound fair? Sometimes it doesn't sound fair. Sometimes it doesn't look fair, but actually it is fair. That is how fair it is, because at the end of this, you'll understand that this is truly fair, because this person has rightfully and that content mastery. Despite spending just 30 minutes on revision, that person has done it. That person is not doing a trial and error method. And there are some others who maybe have tried without knowing exactly what they are doing and they have succeeded, but they found themselves using exactly the methods which we need. I didn't know about the methods, but sometimes I found myself using them. But later I studied keenly. I observed most of the good students, even the A students, and I found that they don't spend much time revising. They don't spend much time training themselves, sacrificing sleep and all that. I know you've observed this. If you're a teacher, even you know this. You know actually your geniuses, your best students, your gifted students rarely spend the whole of their time in revision. Yeah. And if they spend, they start dropping. Yeah. If you force them to spend the whole of their time revising, they start dropping. This myth of more time, better results is a comforting myth. Indeed, comforting, because it makes you feel like you've done it, and it makes you feel like now everything is going to happen in the order planned. But only to be caught with a surprise, the surprise that ah, I didn't revise. I just read through the notes. I didn't master anything. I just read many books. I just read Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, and Form 4. That is not what we want. We want to master. We don't want to read. And this theory is also dangerously misleading. It's misleading, by the way, because learners are trapped in the cage of this myth. Teachers are trapped in the cage of this myth. Parents are trapped in the cage of this myth because they are trying as much as possible to monitor their learners and their children to spend every single minute revising. They are squeezing all other activities so that they may get more time for revision, hoping for better results. No, it will not happen. So, what is the problem with this? I want to say that number one of the things I've observed with this kind of revision, spending a lot of time doing all that, and is something we call passive revision. I've seen learners who have had more time reading notes again and again without testing their understanding. As a teacher, is that what you're encouraging? Please stop. As a parent, is that what you're encouraging? Stop right now. It is not reading the notes over and over again which makes learners master content. Don't confuse structured and strategic repetition with unstructured repetition. If learners have to repeat, it must be structured. Yes, I know repetition leads to mastery of content, but how does the brain work? Consider the brain of an human being. Consider how this learner is supposed to learn, and you'll understand that not just reading the notes, not just going through the pages will make the learner master content. That will never happen. If it was that way, every learner would master content, because there are many times learners read from cover to cover. Many times. But still, when the exam comes, what is the results? So number two, which I've seen is mental fatigue is a problem with many learners. Long hours, reduced focus, know this, and retention. Teachers, you're revising with the learners towards the exam, and you want to revise for 2 hours because the exam is just in 1 week's time. Stop that. I'm sorry. I really love teachers and their work. That's why I cannot say stop that nonsense because it will not be nice. But actually, let us stop that. That will not help. That will not work out. Whether you are doing mathematics, whether you're doing sciences, whether you are doing English, whether you're doing what, be it languages, arts, technicals, mathematics, sciences, it will not work. 2 hours of revision will not work. Divide your revision into bits, the 2 hours into bits, and master this. Long hours reduce focus and retention. By the way, I remember I'm not good at business because actually, even in the high school, I did not take a business lesson, a single business lesson actually. But I understand that in business, we have, when we are talking about investing, we have the law of diminishing returns. When you have the curve of the results and the output, not the output, the input and the output, the input at the x-axis and the output at the y-axis. And I want to talk about three. Actually, I don't want to just talk about the law of diminishing returns. Let's talk about law of diminishing returns. And mine is not talk about the law. We know what the law states. Where it reaches that point, there is a point of stretch where you find that the output is not uh, corresponding or proportional to the input, as we would expect for any curve in business. But the business has become stretched. Here, now, the learner's mastery is what we are after. We are investing in the brain of the learner, but the brain is stretched beyond potential. So three things will happen in this curve. We'll have 3 points. Number one, we'll have the point of diminishing returns. What happens is that what the learner can focus on and retain in 1 hour will reduce by a percentage. And it's so sad that this can reduce even by 50%. If the learner could grasp 80% of the content which is delivered in 1 hour, you find that this learner is grasping 40% of the content. Think about the 60%. How will you recover that? This comes because of long hours of revision non-stop. The second is the point of no returns. The point of no returns. That you can deliver for a whole hour and the learner gets totally nothing, zero. The retention of the learner has gone to zero. The focus of the learner has gone to zero. The learner is not focusing, the learner is not retaining anything. You've observed this. We've been in classroom. We understand when the learners they are tired, what happens? They retain kidogo. Ukiendelea, they don't get anything at all, at all. This is something which has happened not even in revision, but also in introducing new content. You teach and teach and teach it, you'll find that you've wasted the learners. When you strain more, what happens? You start tearing the brain and you reach to the point of negative returns. The more you invest, the negative results you get. Even you affect the content which was retained. You affect the content which was retained. So, what is this telling us? If learners have mental fatigue, we should not keep forcing them to learn. It is not that they don't want to learn, by the way. We need to be Teachers who will study to understand. Okay, what is the capacity of this learner's brain? How long can these children withstand? And if we do this, we can have a structured revision. Instead of revising for very many hours, we just plan well, we schedule bits of revision which will help the learners, which will give them a good and a strong foundation which they need. I'll also want to talk about another thing which is affecting learners who believe in the myth of more time, better results, is the quantity over quality preference. Learners are after quantity. Teachers are after quantity. How much can we cover? They don't look at what is the quality of what has been covered. Because if you cover 3 topics or 3 strands or 3 chapters, and the learners have retained only 10 or 18% of what you've taught, that is total wastage. But if you would cover one topic at a time and they retain 80% or 82% of what you've taught, at least you know when they go revise again, they'll start feeling the remaining 18 or 20%. You know that when you revise with them again, they'll top up that remaining part. So, what am I saying? Covering many topics superficially should not be a preference for any teacher, for any learner, or for any parent. We should not be looking at how much the learner has covered, but we should be testing the child to get a feedback of how much they have learned, not what they have covered. Mastering a few topics deeply will be more important. They'll stick and they will help the learner. So there is this one truth I want to share with you concerning this myth, and it is a truth which is worth spreading. So if you can sit down, write it down, post on your social media, post on your Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, or share with a friend. It is worth sharing. Effective revision isn't about how long you study. It is about how you study. And again, I repeat, effective revision is not about how long you study. It's about how you study. Then the bitter part of it, which sounds unfair. There is no injustice, it's with all fairness. A focused 45-minute session with the structured revision beats 3 hours of passive reading. I repeat, a focused 45-minute session with structured revision beats 3 hours of passive reading. Then the third statement, do not count the hours. Make the hours count. Do not count the hours. Make the hours count. That is very important. Dear parent, dear teacher, dear learner, you need this. This is not to be trashed. This is something which our learners need. This is something which everyone in the academic pursuits need. Whatever level you are, these are facts which goes undebated. And again, I repeat, these are facts which goes undebated. Whether you choose to debate or not to debate, remember they are undebatable. And next time, I'll share the second reason as to why learners fail in revision, as to why revision fails. I have got 7 reasons which I want to summarize to you so that next time you may know what we are going to expect. And the second reason is lack of strategy and structure. That is what we'll talk about. The third reason is surface level understanding. Surface level understanding. The fourth reason why revision fails is something we usually call emotional and mental blocks. While the fifth reason is poor revision techniques. That is where the greatest problem is. Poor revision techniques. Reason number 6 will be learners have ignored the power of the immediate environment. Our environment affects our learning, our mastery, and our revision will be how effective our revision will be. And the last one is that I have not seen learners, I've not seen teachers, I've not seen with the parents something called the feedback loop. There is lack of feedback loop in many revisions of many learners and uh, many what? Many procedures, many programs which have been set forward by learners, by teachers for the sake of revision, for the sake of helping learners. I know you are doing your best. I know it is as per your good wish that the learners may understand. But I'm here that we may help each other and that we may journey forward with this and ensure that at the end, all our learners will benefit. Let us meet again in our second and to continue with the other reasons as to why revision fails. I don't want to share very long videos. I was planning to share for 1 hour, but I think 30 to 40 minutes is also good because I know if I continue to 1 hour, even many of us will not be able to focus till the end of the hour. So this is the standard length, and I wish to adhere to the standard length of the lesson. I'm glad to have shared with you. I'm glad to have been with you. Forgive me for where I've used very tough language, but I usually believe I'm not tough. I'm not. So in case you're saying I'm tough, I'm sorry. And also, if I have shared an opinion which you don't subscribe to, um, should I apologize for the opinion? No, I will not apologize for that because I've said that these are matters which are undebatable. So I'll apologize for anything else, but not for what I've shared. Maybe my language and all that. So be blessed. Let us meet again in the next lesson.